You reaching for a box of tissues.
A University of Vermont basketball player made an amazing comeback on the court 5 years after surviving a horrific car crash. Josh Spidell, a former high school standout, had his college hoop dreams shattered when he got into a crash. He suffered a severe brain injury but refused to give up. Spidell spent 5 years in rehab to make it back on the court, and Tuesday night he finally made it there and scored his very first collegiate basket.
That was a dream, and just to sit there today and score the layup and just to see my name in the box score and just, okay, I did it. His hard work was for something.
Oh, he did do it, some really hard work there. Spidell received a standing ovation as he came out of the game, and inspired by his return, Vermont defeated Albany on Tuesday night. Great comeback there.
A day that he won't forget, and neither will the people in the audience either.
For sure. All right, that's it for Channel 2 News at 4.
Channel 2 News at 5 begins in just 60 seconds. Don't go away.
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News at 5.
Developing right now, 2 more people have died of the coronavirus on the West Coast. And tonight, researchers here in the Houston area are working on a possible vaccine for the virus that has killed thousands more overseas.
Their efforts come at a time when people are stockpiling on cleaning supplies out of a concern for the virus. Tonight, there are still no confirmed cases in the Houston area.
Channel 2's Marianne Martinez is live now in Galveston with the new developments from there. Marianne?
Lauren, well, this building behind me houses every virus known to man, including a live strain of the coronavirus. Now, this Galveston National Laboratory was the first in the nation to obtain that live strain from the CDC, and they're hoping that the work they're doing with it right now will lead to a major breakthrough. At the Galveston National Laboratory, researchers are working with a live strain of the coronavirus.
The isolate that we have is from the first case that was seen in the United States, and that was, you'll recall, the patient in Washington State.
The lab has been able to clone it, working with it in a petri dish, giving them the ability to create better testing for those who suspect they might have been infected. Going back several years, the lab has been working on a vaccine that many hope could be the coronavirus vaccine.
We were at the stage that we had a promising candidate. It was about at the stage where you go from laboratory testing in mice to human trials, and the decision was made by the funders that we would stop that work. So that work stopped a few years ago.
But ever since coronavirus emerged late last year, the Galveston National Laboratory has started pouring its own resources into new trials.
It takes at least a year, you know, and parts of it you just can't push. And certainly the clinical trials in humans is a long, drawn-out process, and it's very important that this be done because we're talking about a product that could go into literally millions and millions of people.
There are no confirmed cases of coronavirus in the Houston area. The Harris County Health Department says it's awaiting test results of a Rice University staffer who might have been exposed. Stores like Kroger continue to limit water, disinfectant, and cleaning supplies as people rush to get ready. Now, here at the Galveston National Laboratory, they were very enthused by news that Congress passed that $8.6 billion package, or rather that the House did. It goes to the Senate now. They're hoping they can actually get a grant out of whatever monies is eventually passed by Congress. The other thing they're working on here are those so-called therapeutics. Now, those wouldn't cure the disease, or it wouldn't be a vaccine, but it's something that would treat the symptoms in the meantime while a vaccine is being developed. Reporting live from Galveston, Marianne Martinez, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Marianne, thank you for that. Meantime, there are several other big developments in the fight against a deadly virus. As we said, 11 people have now died. That comes after Washington State reported yet another death, and California reported its first. The House of Representatives has passed a bill to provide more than $8 billion to fight the coronavirus outbreak. The Senate is expected to vote on that bill sometime tomorrow. Meantime, the Dow jumped more than 1,000 points today as that funding was announced.
We have a dedicated section of our homepage exclusively on the coronavirus, and we're posting new nationwide developments and have reports on prevention efforts, all at click2houston.com.
The impact from those devastating and deadly tornadoes in Tennessee is hard to fathom. 24 people lost their lives and more than a dozen still missing. But there are hundreds, if not thousands, of families whose lives have been forever changed.
They prayed for survival as twisters came barreling through the area. Their prayers were answered, but now a new challenge: how to rebuild. Channel 2's Roseanne Aragon is live tonight in Putnam County, east of Nashville, where one tornado left families with nothing. Roseanne?
That's right. I spoke with one woman with a harrowing story of survival. I'm actually standing in what was once her home. She tells me she survived because her family huddled here. This was once a bathroom. The devastation here is haunting, with many people, her neighbors, having to start over. Sounds of work fill what was once a neighborhood where lifelong residents now barely recognize the lives they've built in hometowns that now resemble war zones. Tuesday, when Mother Nature's wrath echoed through Middle Tennessee, 24 people answered with their lives. 18 of them lived here in Putnam County.
Very blessed because just people right down the street were not as fortunate as us.
Survivor's guilt is real. Tamara Williams, though, is thankful for this.
We were in the bathroom downstairs where those red and blue pipes or whatever those are.
She and her family huddled in a small bathroom. Time was running out.
We got downstairs and the walls were already, you could see them moving in.
They waited as the unrelenting freight train took everything they had.
We were praying, all my kids, we were praying out loud.
Their prayers were answered. They were the only ones standing. They survived.
I'm just extremely grateful because I couldn't live without any one of my babies.
Now she says with the help of volunteers, they will rebuild. And you can see those volunteers spent all day doing this, organizing piles of debris, handing out snacks, and listening to stories. This is the volunteer state, and tonight they are certainly living up to that name. Reporting live from Putnam County, Tennessee, Roseanne Aragon, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Roseanne, thank you. Meanwhile, back here at home, if you live north of Houston, you got a decent soaking today.
Take a look at this. It's dash cam video from one of our photographers out and about a bit earlier today. But here in the city, we didn't see nearly as much rain. Frank here to tell us all about it.
Yep, not much at all. In fact, if you were south of I-10, you hardly got anything. If you were north of I-10, you had a better chance to see rain. And then north of Houston, even more, up around Conroe, Huntsville, off toward Lake Livingston. And now you see all of that is dwindling as we speak. The rain totals, if you look at these dark blues, that's a half an inch to an inch in the green. So up around Conroe, off toward Madisonville, into Houston County and Lake Livingston, that's where we saw some significant rainfall. Here in Harris County, maybe a third to a half an inch in spots, but generally not even that. We're left with cooler weather. Triangle Energy Camera, 59 Huntsville, 63 in Houston, 67 in Lake Jackson. Strong winds right out of the northeast now, 15, 16, 13 miles an hour. This low is going to continue to move across. As it does, there's some chance for a shower as we move into this evening, but it's not a huge chance. So don't get your hopes up for rain out of this. In fact, if you're headed to the rodeo, you're in great shape. 65 at 6, 63 at 8, and 60 at 10. So it should be nice and pleasant. In the meantime, jackets for the morning, short sleeves for the afternoon. I have a marvelous March weekend to tell you about. And then our next chance of rain straight ahead. Lauren?
Frank, thank you. Line after line after line. Voters across Harris County waiting for hours to cast their ballot in the primary yesterday.
And tonight we have heard from you, the voters, demanding to know why the lines were so long and if we can expect to wait just as long during Election Day come November. Channel
2's Bill Barajas took your concerns straight to county and political leaders. He is live tonight from TSU with more of the answers. Bill?
Well, some voters were here until 1 a.m. this morning. Today, Republicans and Democrats played the blaming game. The problems were hard to go unnoticed. One of the biggest issues was here at TSU. Democratic voters cited fewer voting machines and less polling locations, making for longer waits, specifically in Black and Latino communities.
Precinct 1 and Precinct 2, which are predominantly African American and Latino, had the least amount of polling locations to our Precinct 3 and Precinct 4, which are predominantly Anglo.
Democratic Chair Lily Schechter says there was 71 locations in Precinct 1, 84 in Precinct 2, and 125 and 120 in Precinct 3 and 4. Schechter tells us Democrats agreed to the locations, though.
It's important to the Democrats to have countywide voting, so we had to agree on all the locations. The Republicans did not want countywide voting and said, here's our map. If you want countywide voting, you have to agree to this map.
Republican Chair Paul Simpson was asked about the fewer locations.
The Republicans were easily able to vote yesterday. That is one of the things that happens with countywide polling. In most counties, they go to a smaller number of locations over time, and it is harder for people to go to vote.
Harris County Clerk Diana Troutman says that despite the problems, she believes the November general election will be different.
There will be just one line. Voters can come in and use all the machines, and they can vote at any voting location.
And the county says they will also be getting new voting machines. They're also trying to do a better job of updating their website when it comes to which polling locations may be busy and which ones are not. Live from TSU, Bill Barajas, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Bill, thank you, sir. Now let's talk politics in the race for the White House. Just last night, Super Tuesday proving the state of the race can change in an instant. A major comeback for Joe Biden as a former vice president wins 10 out of 14 states last night, including right here in Texas.
This map shows all states that have voted now in their respective primaries. Here in Texas, Biden narrowly defeated Sanders, and Sanders was polling as the front runner going into Super Tuesday.
And former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg has since dropped out of the race. He actually spent $500 million on his campaign and only won the U.S. territory of American Samoa last night. Meanwhile, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren currently reevaluating her campaign.
And there were a lot of big shakeups in local races as well.
Taisha Walker continues our team coverage live from West Houston. Taisha?
Yeah, Jonathan, just imagine this time yesterday, all of these this polling location was filled with many campaign signs. Those signs are since gone, along with the aspirations and the hopes of a lot of candidates. Call it a Super Tuesday stunner. In the Harris County judicial races, women candidates made a clean sweep.
21 contested races between a man and a woman. The woman won every one of them, and the smallest margin I saw was like 60%.
Harris County Criminal District Court judge for the 351st Court, incumbent Judge George Powell lost to Natalia Cornello, who won with 63% of votes.
I feel a lot let down.
In January, Powell had to fight his own party to get his name on the ballot due to a filing fee error. Harris County Precinct 2 Constable hopeful Jerry Garcia's worst fears came true on Tuesday.
The voters of Precinct 2 are going to be confused.
A name confusion with a fellow candidate with the same name cost a law enforcement officer votes, says KPRC 2 analyst Ed Emmett. Plus, incumbent Constable Chris Diaz was accused of abusing his power.
That one's just kind of down and dirty. I mean, there's no way around it, you know. He's been accused by some of his deputies of forcing them to be involved in the campaign.
Lieutenant Garcia and Diaz will now have a runoff. County Attorney Vince Ryan lost his seat to newcomer Christian Menifee, who secured 50% of votes, avoiding a runoff.
The county attorney, Vince Ryan, lost. And a lot of that has to do with the nature of his job. He has to sometimes tell other elected officials what they can and cannot do, and it probably cost him.
Another race that was heavily watched was that of Liberty County District Attorney, excuse me. You'll recall that the current representative there is Logan Pickett, Pickett lost that race yesterday by 10%, trailing behind a newcomer. You'll also recall that Pickett is accused of assaulting his wife last year in around November at a hotel that they were staying at. We checked, and his case is currently reset for next month. Reporting live in West Houston, Taisha Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Taisha, thank you. And our coverage of Decision 2020, including the runoffs and the race for the White House, is all at Click2Houston.com.
It was a historic moment for Houston and for generations to come.
Up next, remembering the city's first sit-in as we hear from one man who took part.
Morning, people.
Tonight, police are looking for a man and a woman who stole all sorts of goods from a Family Dollar. And they were very casual as they left the store, not caring who saw the crime in action. This was a couple of weeks ago on Griggs near OST on Houston's south side. An employee tried to stop the two outside, but the man pushed the employee to the ground, and the two got away in that red Ford sedan. Police are confident someone in the area knows who they are.
An 81-year-old woman down in League City recovering from a dog attack. We're told a pit bull went after her at a city park just yesterday. Witnesses told police two dogs were running loose around Newport Park just before both of them attacked the woman's dog, and then one of them attacked the woman. A witness rushed in and stopped that attack. The woman had injuries to both arms and her legs, but is expected to survive. The owner of the dogs was issued a citation. The city is now keeping the dog that attacked the woman woman under a quarantine to see if, in fact, it has rabies.
They were fighting for equal rights and protesting what they knew was wrong. And now, 60 years after Houston's first sit-in, we're looking back at the TSU students who peacefully protested segregation.
And that protest was at the lunch counter at Weingarten's grocery store on Alameda, just south of downtown. Channel 2's Sion Rhodes talked with a former student who led that sit-in. She's live tonight from where it happened. Sion?
And this place, as you take a look, is now a United States Post Office. But 60 years ago, it was a place where a brave group of TSU students led the beginning of the end of Jim Crow here in Houston.
There was a lot going on down south, and we said, why not here?
James Bland was barely 20 years old, a student at Texas Southern University, when he became part of a movement that would become part of Houston history.
We felt good about it.
One of 13 students who led Houston's first sit-in at a Weingarten's grocery store lunch counter on March 4th, 1960.
No matter what they did to you, you had to be nonviolent. Yeah, we was feeling a little scared, a little frightened, but the more you got involved, the more excited you got, and your fears just went away. We all sat and occupied the stools. They refused the service. And we stayed there for about an hour or so.
That first act of nonviolent protest leading to others across Houston.
We hit the Rawson drugstores, and we was able to negotiate the high clerks, black clerks. Then we said, why not downtown?
Eventually spending time in jail after facing store managers who called the police.
And he says, arrest those. I don't want to say the word.
Bland, proud of the work he did then and hopeful today's youth continue his fight.
We come a long ways, but baby, we got a long ways to go.
Quick. And that moment that changed Houston history now commemorated by this marker here at the post office on Alameda. Reporting live in 3rd Ward, Sion Rhodes, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
It's a great story, Sion. Thank you so much.
Okay, there was wet weather out there today.
Yeah,
hump
plenty
day,
of it.
yeah. You know, the significant rain, which there wasn't a lot of, is pretty much gone, and they always have just a few sprinkles to get through, and then it's being a little cool in the mornings.
Okay.
Yeah,
this feel the drop in
This might inspire
we'll
you.
that.
Look at that.
It's a 3-dog night.
Lauren and myself.
That's one way to get through the day. Thanks for that out of Livingston. In the meantime, highs this afternoon came in the mid and upper 70s, but this was before the front and the rain got here. So this was earlier today, 76, 79 at Hobby, and 76 in Galveston. A little shaky camera out there right now. East-northeast winds at 15 with 65 degrees down in Galveston. Looks like the sky has lifted a bit, and almost want to say that the winds have calmed down, but they haven't. They're still north at 23, 65 degrees there. Dew points at 61. It's going to be a chilly evening, so I'd grab a jacket if I were you. We've got upper 50s, low 60s right now, so 59 to 62 to 65 in Pearland, but this is a difference from this time yesterday of 11, 13, 15, 16 degrees. So we've dropped pretty significantly since yesterday. There's that wind out of the northeast, 15, 23 miles an hour. See that spin right there? That's the low that we've been dealing with moving up the coast. So that's part of the reason we've had this rain today, but certainly the reason we have these strong winds, and they're still gusting to 31, 29, 25, 30 miles an hour in Conroe. The gusts will start to come down, but it's still going to be a breezy evening, even into the overnight. We've got double digits, maybe a few single digits later, but look how it picks up after midnight. Right there tomorrow morning at 7, 11, 14, 12, 15 mile an hour sustained wind. So a cool one and a breezy one tomorrow, but I don't think a wet one. You can see there's the rain that's coming through right now. We initialized that pretty well. It's moving into some drier air. There's just not a lot to sustain it. So maybe a little spritz on the windshield as we get into 10, 11 o'clock tonight. That's it. And then overnight we go to just cloudy skies, but the north wind continues. So we'll see sunshine tomorrow, but it's going to be some cool sunshine. Here are the temperatures. 7 o'clock right there, 62 to 64. And then as we go into the overnight, we dive right down through the 50s. Overnight lows 53, 54, 55 degrees. And then tomorrow with the sunshine, we at least make it into the low 70s, but nothing near 80 until we get to maybe next week. So there's that low that moves on out of here. And I want you to notice this because there's this front and it's a dry front, but it comes in Friday so that Saturday is actually a little cooler than Friday. It's not going to be any rain with it, but it will be cooler. So when you see the 10-day, you'll know why. Next chance of rain is with this low coming out of the southwest. That doesn't look to get here until we make it to Monday. So may be able to put the umbrellas away from Thursday to Sunday anyway. Power planner for tonight, 10% chance you'll see a little bit of that light rain. Temperatures down through the 60s and the 50s, so a little sprinkle, a breeze more than anything for your haircast. High tomorrow 72, and then the same on Friday. There's that dry front. So as you see, 48 and 68, a little cooler on Saturday, and then 72 and 56 on Sunday. We lose an hour of sleep, but sunset is at 7:25. Monday, Tuesday through Thursday of next week, 20% chance of a few scattered light showers coming out of the southwest, and then another front makes its way here on Friday. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Decor.com.
We have another exciting night at the Houston Rodeo as thousands head out to NRG Park for night 2. In fact, it is Armed Forces Appreciation Day at the rodeo, honoring the men and women for their service. Iconic Texas country star Willie Nelson set to take the stage tonight. The second round of the Super Series competition will kick off at 6:45, followed by Willie's big performance.
And tomorrow, artist Becky G will take the stage, and then on Friday, it is Chance the Rapper. It is a full list of artists hitting the stage as rodeo season. You can head to click2houston.com/rodeo to see them all.
And taking a look at the roads tonight, if in fact you're heading out to the rodeo, this is a 610 South Loop at Kirby. Right now, traffic moving in both directions. We're back in just a moment. Yeehaw.
Starrise.
Good evening, I'm Dominique Soxa in the newsroom. Here's what we're working on for Channel 2 News at 6 o'clock this evening. Only on 2 tonight, rough road conditions prevent a toddler's rescue. A family says because of these road issues, first responders were unable to take their choking child to the hospital. And a Cub Scout trailer stolen from a Katy parking lot. See how our Spencer Solves It team is working to make it right. These stories and a lot more at the top of the hour on Channel 2 News at 6. Back to you all.
All right, Dominique, thank you. And a last look at weather before
and I want to promote my blog today. I took 3 models that we used from last night and compared them to how they forecasted today's weather. So it might be interesting to folks because we have, they talk about the models a lot. So check it out. Click2houston.com/weather. In the meantime, headed to the rodeo, Lauren?
Yes.
65 at 6, 63 at 8, 60 at 10. You're in good shape, so it should be pretty nice. Enjoy.
Take a jacket, though, right?
I would, yeah.
All right. And as we leave you tonight, we have a live look from Sky 2 over Rodeo Houston.
As Frank said, Willie takes the stage tonight. Have fun out there, Lauren.
I will.
I'm jealous.